What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. We are diving into another episode of Silo, Apple TV's original series, but based on an awesome novel that Liam has read, but I haven't. I am Chris, with me as always.
Liam.
The awkward one.
The timing.
I just want to see how awkward you'd be about it. And we are diving into episode 2 of season 2 of Silo today. And I got to say, before we do, I am really excited. We finally got some of the things I was looking for, and I cannot wait to dive in with you guys. Let us know what you thought about this episode down in the comments. Brother, here we go.
The big lie.
The big lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited because we finally went back to Silo 18.
That we were missing. Yeah, this felt a whole lot better to me.
Yeah.
It was less just drawn out for the sake of being drawn out. We got to see a lot more character development.
Yeah.
Down to the judge.
This was like the first, like, she was always this thing in the shadows, this like mysterious, powerful, controlling figure. But it turns out, just like she says in this episode, she's really just the wizard behind the curtain. She's using cheap tricks and, you know, different manipulations to keep herself in power, but she really has nothing that keeps her there other than that.
Bernard, though, he was talking about himself when she said that.
Well, I think Bernard also has a little bit of that going on, too.
Yeah, he definitely does. That's why it was obvious that he thought it was talking about her.
Yeah.
But at the very beginning, we open up with a scene of him watching her go over into the other silo with all the dead bodies, right?
Yeah. He looks scared.
He does. He looks terrified.
Yeah.
And as he consults the book, he goes and sees, what the fuck do we do? And he's like, oh, prepare for civil war, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
The big piece that I want to point out is when they walked out, and I mentioned it as we were watching it, was they literally just showed the same scene of him walking out of that little windowed room when we just saw the little windowed room in the last one, someone's still alive. So wondering if that's his counterpart or if it's just someone who was able to get in.
Or the shadow.
Or the shadow, yeah. Could be. I didn't think about the shadow. That's a good point.
Only the leader of the order and the shadow have access to that specific, like, vault. Because she says in this episode, or he says, you're the only other person who's ever been in there. That's why I trust you. Or something like that.
Well, she knows all the secrets.
Right. And she can't be bought. Just, like, has a lot of respect for her. It was a pretty crazy, like, interesting.
Can be bought? I think she can, because she just literally at the end of the episode labeled her terms.
Freedom was her term.
Yes.
Not those material things. Like, so in that,
Still being bought.
okay, I agree with you. She still had a price, and that price was freedom. And I was thinking more along the lines of, like, material things. Like, he offered her more space, bigger crew, like any relic she wanted, which are the things that normally, you know, are high price tag things for people who would want to go for that, which she was unswayed. So at this point, she's just so fed up. She wants to get the hell out. But anyway, I agree with you. Yes, that is being bought.
She has found a purpose now, and that is to go outside.
Obtain her freedom, yeah.
Yes. If Julia can do it, I can definitely do it too.
Yeah, she found out the only person thinking that, right? And which is what I mentioned in the end of our previous video that we did on episode 1 is, are they hinting towards a rebellion? Are they hinting towards, now that Juliet's out and they saw her walk out, something that should have never been possible, how many more people are going to want to follow her, right?
And that's what the theme of the whole episode was.
Yeah.
Was to quell that want or need to leave the silo. And that's where the big lie comes into play.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the mayor, Holland, do you think he's evil, or he's just trying to keep, like, order and control and people alive?
I don't think he's evil. Does he do evil things in the name of good in his eyes? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it is a fascist regime.
Right. Yeah. It is. It's the way it's set up, for sure. Yeah, because, like, you know, as I'm watching, I'm thinking, like, okay, it's them versus the establishment. The establishment's supposed to be the big bad. But in the end, once we realize that it's the lie has been switched, that really they're not trying to prevent them from going out because it's safe out there. It's not safe out there. And so now I'm thinking to myself, the big bad isn't necessarily the big bad anymore. You know, the big bad is the outside. And that's why they will go to such extreme measures to, you know, clean people, throw them in the mines, kill them, because ultimately they are trying to fight the big bad, keep everyone alive from that outside.
I can see that. But it doesn't mean they're going about it the right way.
Oh, no, I would agree with you. Not at all. No, it's definitely, you know, like you said, how do you call it? Totalitarian?
Fascist.
Fascist was the word you used, yeah, but very much a dictatorship. You know, you don't get to vote, you don't get a say. It's not America for sure.
They've got their little Gestapo running around.
Yeah. Yeah, Sims?
Yeah. What's his name? He's a rapper.
Common. This is
Common. That's it. That's what I was like.
He's actually a pretty good actor. He's been in a lot of stuff that I've really enjoyed him in.
Yes, me too. Just forgot his name for a moment.
Yeah, Sims is who he plays, and he's the head of judicial security.
Yeah.
Which is basically, yeah, he's a fucking henchman.
All right. The other piece that we want to explore is the Down Deep's grandma.
Oh, walk. Before we go there, I want to touch on one thing. I thought it was really interesting and kind of, I don't know, even awe-inspiring a little bit to watch just how easily and quickly that mayor spun that narrative and put everybody under a trance again. Now, granted, down in the deep, we're dealing with a little bit different stuff, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But within minutes of him giving that speech about how they found this tape and it's like this great advancement for their colony, and completely just lies to everyone, because he got ahead of the narrative, because he was able to spin a story, he even talks about it. He's like, now they have to disprove me to say anything else. I was just like, holy shit, that's... I mean, we can definitely relate that to real world scenarios as well, but I was like, damn, like that's a powerful representation of how when someone can speak well and spin a narrative, they can take everyone under their control. I thought that was kind of crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
And I know you said you can kind of see some parallels in real life, and those are the things that we probably shouldn't talk about on here.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk, we obviously don't want to talk about current events and get ourselves like kicked off of YouTube or anything like that. But if you really take a look at it, you know, Hitler was a person who spoke well and took an entire country under his, you know, thought process and was able to do horrific things in the name of that belief, which is just another person spinning a narrative and putting people under a hypnotic trance.
That's essentially the rule book for all dictators.
Right. So he's, I mean, following the same rule book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Around that same time period, around 1940 to 1944, they perfected that rule book. They got really good at manipulating people and putting people into the same trance.
Yeah. No, I just, you know, we see it every day. So the way they portrayed it on Silo, I was like, boom, that was artwork right there. Like that's, you see it every day, and now we saw it again. We know exactly what's happening. In the deep, we have Walk.
Yes.
What's going on with that? What do you think?
I feel like she was a part of the older rebellion.
Old enough to be part of the older rebellion. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more curious to what you think, because, yeah, remember, I already know what's going to happen.
So you're just planting seeds on me. I love it. So Walk's been trapped in her workshop for 25 years, scared to come out. Why? Why is she scared? What happened? What was the event? What was the trauma that caused her to become agoraphobic, basically, where she just has to be locked in her house and cannot be out in these places? Which I guess technically not agoraphobic because she can do it. She just chooses not to. Because she had to do it in this episode because they detained her for the police.
Well, look at veterans. A lot of veterans are the same way.
Yeah, I'd rather not deal with people if I don't have to. I get it.
Yeah.
I like my animals. That's why I got a small zoo. No, so Walk, I think, and let us know what you guys think in the comments about this, because this is an interesting theory. I like where you're going with this thought process. So she may have been a member or a part of the previous rebellion, which is why she's so reluctant and so hesitant to allow this next generation to just go guns blazing out there. She's like, okay, well, so what's your plan? She's like, amass everybody. Okay, well, then what? Well, then we'll fight. It's like, okay, well, they're ready for that, and they've got weapons. So it's almost like from her own history, she's walking through, well, we did that didn't work. We did that didn't work. We've done that didn't work. We probably got to try something different.
She's like, you guys aren't very good at this.
Right. Yeah. So lots of clues that she has, you know, been in these shoes before, which is actually, and if you really think about it from a 30,000 foot view, gives this rebellion a huge leg up, because now they have someone who's done it before and knows what doesn't work, and already has a very intimate knowledge of the silo, is very capable when it comes to fixing and building, and has that engineer type mind. She could be the secret leader of the next rebellion.
Yeah. Or could they be setting it up to show that she is just the older version of Juliet?
I think that's relatable as well, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of parallels. The amount of time spent alone, the way their minds were. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of parallels.
And if you see, as we go deeper into season 2, you're going to see a lot more parallels between the flashbacks that should be coming up too.
Okay.
As long as they keep true,
Yeah.
or as close as they have been anyway.
One thing I thought was interesting down in the deep is that Hank, their deputy sheriff who like works down there, he can't really get order, but Knox is able to, which I thought was kind of interesting. Knox can he has enough clout and enough power down there that he can control the masses, or at least get them to listen to him for a little while.
He's a Nepo baby.
But surely,
The dude in the wheelchair even said,
yeah, yeah, I get it. I get what you meant.
well, that was just in case someone else didn't.
Yeah. So Shirley, I believe that's her name now. I keep forgetting her name. The tougher chick that's like her friend with the braids, speaking out against everything.
You're asking the wrong person about
I
it.
think her name is Shirley or yeah, something like that. Let us know in the comments on hacking that up. I think that what's going on there is she is still mad at him for what he has done, and it's going to take her a little while to forgive him. But what I think you were going to see as season 2, this is theories, completely founded theories moving forward from this part. But
Let's talk about that part real quick.
okay,
We were talking about how she is going to take a while before she can trust him again, you think?
yeah,
But they painted that picture already by showing her as the child. That was her as the child, correct?
yeah, the one she gives the toy to,
Yeah.
as a child, yeah,
So following that, she was already distrustful then. That was already ingrained in her. So it stands to reason that she would keep that as an adult. We never outgrow our childhood traumas, right?
and that's what I was going to say. I think that just like what she did early on with Jules, where she kind of gave her the cold shoulder after Jules didn't want to hang out with her or whatever it was. I forgot exactly what Jules did, but then she started giving her the cold shoulder. And it wasn't until her father said, hey, she's trying to make peace with you. You probably should, be nice, that she actually is like, oh, hey, let me see what you got there. So it takes a guiding hand, someone who can think outside of her to give her that perspective to switch. And I think that'll be Walk, right? Walk will end up being like, hey, Knox only did what he thought was right. He's not a bad person. You already know that. You've been friends forever. And you guys being against each other is not going to make this rebellion work. But if you join together, then we have something. And I think we're going to see that progression. We're going to see them eventually become friends again, join forces, and whatever that looks like, it's going to be, they'll be the main leaders of what we see. That's, again, predictions. I don't know. I've never read the books.
This is going to be a fun one because they're opening the doors, and obviously they left us off on the first episode with that cliffhanger of who's behind the door.
Yeah. It's either the Shadow or the leader of the Order is my theories on that. And based on the fact that he's probably been there for a long time by himself, he's probably a bit psychotic, and his eyes were weird. I noticed that too. Did you notice his eyes were weird? One, almost different colors, or one was it was weird looking. So I wonder if he's been exposed, or I don't know. There's something going on with that dude. There's something weird, something definitely weird going on.
And the same reason we were annoyed in episode 1 is the same reason we're going to be excited to be back in episode 3. Because they got to go back there now, right?
Yeah.
And leave us wondering, keep us hooked. Well, we just went back to the new silo, and now we're back in the old silo. Now we have to go back to the old silo and it keeps you hooked because 1 week you're diving deep into one area, and then they're not going to talk about that shit at all.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the original, and same thing. I think it's going to flip-flop for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the silo that Jules is currently in, Silo 17, has one survivor, but it's completely condemned.
One survivor that we know of.
Correct. One survivor that we are aware of. She's walked. Most of what we can see is condemned. There was one spot in that whole place that had water and life, but that wouldn't be enough to sustain a colony. So what I'm thinking is that whether she aligns with this person behind the door or gets more information because she goes into the vault and now can relate that back to her own silo, I think what's going to happen is because the mayor publicly let everybody know that she died a hero, she's going to come back to that window and be like, hey guys, I'm not dead. I'm only 200 yards away in another silo, right? I think they're going to be like, the mayor lied again. And now there's going to be no trust. But I think she's going to be able to get a message to them that the area is toxic. It is toxic out here. It's not what you think it is. So that her friends won't die. That's my hope. I think more than anything is that she's able to get a message to them so they don't kill themselves. But I think that the mayor's story is definitely going to come back to bite him in the face, to bite him in the butt, if we will, because Jules is 200 yards away in another silo and can easily get right back to where she started if she wanted to.
Let me ask you, do you think the silos are connected in terms of communication? Like the leaders talk to each other?
I think it would be smart for whoever built them to have that one particular vault, that like deep room, to have inner silo communication 100%, where there's one person who is aware of the standings and whether or not another silo has fallen or was able to get out or whatever it may be. Yeah, that would make sense to have that.
You think that's going to come into play later?
Well, because you're bringing it up, I know it is, but yeah.
Or am I just giving you something else to chase?
You're not very good at that yet, so no. No, I think that there is, and I think that we're going to see some really interesting things happen here in Silo 18 too when we bounce back, because there is the seeds of a rebellion, but Walk's also trying to do it in a very cautious manner. And so where is that going to end up? Are we going to lose some of our main characters to the mines, to murder? We'll see.
All right. So in searching out other stuff around this, there have been some theories about the water
Which water?
that everyone drinks in the silo.
Okay.
So
Almost like the fluoride in our water kind of theory.
kinda, yeah. They think that it makes people forget things, like causes the memories to fade. That's why a lot of the higher ups tend to drink more alcohol than they do water, so that they can keep those memories even as they are haunted by them, as we see in Judge.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah.
That's one of the theories that's floating around.
Don't they mention something about that in season 1? I'm pretty sure George, in one of the flashback scenes, is talking to Jules. I'm pretty sure. Let me know in the comments. I remember hearing this. I don't remember the exact scene, but they were talking about how they use the water to help you, to make you forget, so it's easier to control you. I think that's in season 1. Let me know in the comments, guys. If you guys recently watched season 1 or go back and rewatch it, let me know.
But the reason I'm bringing that up is common at the end. Sims, he chose the water over the drink at the end of the day.
Does he know, you think?
He would have to.
He's high enough up on the chain.
He's literally the leader of the Gestapo.
Right. But there's things, yeah, that's true. He knows about the order. He's just not privy to like the leader's information. Got it. Yeah, so he would know.
He knows enough where he needs to control people, and he can do it effectively and keep Bernard safe from the impacts of stuff. But he just doesn't know enough where he knows all the details. That's why he wants to shadow him so bad, is he wants all that information, I believe.
Oh, I just thought he wanted to be in control. Because, like, Bernard's position is the most powerful position in the entire silo. Whether you're mayor or not, being the charge of the order is the most powerful position. So, yeah.
A lot of fun roads we can go down. I'm curious to see how much they deviate.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm actually excited to dive back into Silo 17 next week and see what's going on with that stranger and see more of Jules. She is my favorite character, obviously. She is the main character. But I am very excited that I did get my Silo 18 fix, if you will. And all those hours invested in those characters, I'm starting to see where that's going, and I'm excited. Thank you for turning me on to Silo. I'm diving in. I'm loving it. The more I'm seeing about it, the more I'm getting into the world, the more I am enjoying it.
Good.
If you guys want to be a winner of our $50 gift card from Amazon, all you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, and over 4,300 of you already are. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and believing us and watching our videos. If you have not already hit subscribe, which is quite a few people who watch the videos, go ahead and do that. And then just comment what's your biggest takeaway from this episode. What did you love about season 2, episode 2, or maybe something that we talked about that you didn't really know about. I also love when you guys share your own theories. That was really cool on our Dune video we just recently dropped. We had people sharing their theories and stuff with us.
Has some love, has some hate.
Yeah, we always, hey, you want to share some hate too? That's cool. The comments work. The algorithm still goes. We don't care. We'll let you yell at us from the bleachers. We'll just hang out down here in the sand of the arena. But
when the fuck did we get ice cream there? That's in reply to one of those comments.
Oh, man. I love it. If you can't laugh at yourself, what the fuck is life about, right? So, again, $50 gift card. All you have to do is be subscribed, comment below. If you guys are really enjoying this content, then go ahead and check out our playlist for this series. You can watch episode 1 and 2 right here. We also have our Moch Watch playlist right below it, as well as a video I think you guys might really like right up here. But go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you on those videos.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.